Hey everybody, we're live. Welcome everybody to the Mumfreedompreneurs Hangout. Sorry we're a little bit late. Had a little bit of stuff going on in the background here. So welcome everybody. Today our topic is how to overcome isolation and be supported as a mompreneur. But before we get into all that, I want to quickly just introduce ourselves here on the panel. Some other folks may pop in a little bit later. I know Sarita's not feeling so good today, but everybody, a lot of folks are there. They're watching. Will be on, commenting on the page and all of that. So if you're live, please feel free to connect. We do this. We love to be this interactive. Get your thoughts, get your feelings, get everything that's going on with you. Even just shout out, hey, here where you're calling from. I am watching from. I'm here in Los Angeles. My name is Valerie Jampolsky. I'm the Abundance Mumfreedompreneur from Abundance Now, and I am a single mom of twin 5-year-old boys, and I do what I do so that I can actually be home with them. I used to be an entertainment attorney. When I was pregnant with them, sitting in my office, had a massive realization that there was just no way I wanted to be home with those little ones, and I knew that there was so much more to me than what I was doing, and that I had so much more to give to the world. And I love talking about all the things that we talk about here in our hangout, love and abundance, and how to really see our own true values. So that is me, and I'm going to pass it on over. We have Michelle Tafoya.
Hello, I'm Michelle. I'm the company mom. I am a work-at-home mom right now. I'm building my business. I have a 4-year-old son, and I just crave so much more time with him, just to teach him and guide him. He is such a blessing to me, and I just want to take that focus away from the computer during the day and put it on him. This is my little guy here, Mr. Bedhead. Yeah, and I love this hangout. I'm not always on it because I do work during the day, but I enjoy just the inspiration, all the stories. It has just definitely has helped me kind of on my own personal journey as well, just kind of coming out of a fearful mindset and in that abundance mindset and realizing that anything is possible, that I have the power within myself to create the life that I want. So that's what I'm doing, and teaching him that he has that same power as well, so he can have the life of his dreams, right?
Aww.
I'm happy to be here with you today.
Hi, it's so beautiful, and hi, so happy you can be with us. Hi.
Corbin.
So beautiful. I'm going to, you're going to love this afterwards when you take a look at this. You see that gorgeous, smiley, happy little face. I'm going to pass it on now over to Gabrielle. Oh my goodness. Very late for you. Well, unmute. It's still muted. Yeah, you're still muted, hon. Can you unmute? Let's see. No, still muted. Maybe unplug the headset. See if that makes a difference. Let's see. It is late at night for Gabrielle in Perth, Australia. No, still muted, babe. Ah! Keep playing with it. Interrupt me at any point in time, okay? Yeah, but Gabrielle is an amazing mom. She's in Perth, Australia. And what is it? It's like 11 o'clock at night for you? Something like that, 11:15 at night? No, that shows her. Yeah, all it says is that you're, yeah. Somehow you got yourself muted there, babe. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. It's odd. I didn't mute you on my end. Yeah, maybe go out and come back in, perhaps. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, let's see if that works. But yeah, when you come back in, just interrupt. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna come on back and we're gonna hop into the topic. And I know Michelle doesn't have necessarily so much time, so I'm gonna do just a quick little intro on it, and then maybe pass it on over to Michelle, and hopefully Gabrielle can come back and get the sound working. For me, especially if you're a single mom, those of you that are single moms, it can just be generally isolating being a mom, right? And what we're going to talk about here is, hopefully this will work. So hop out as soon as if you come in, Gabrielle, as soon as you think you might have sound, just hop out. But it's also, even if you're not a single mom, right? Or if you're a stay-at-home mom, sometimes it can be isolating. Especially, for me, I've got a perspective of very similar to, well, to Michelle and to Gabrielle and Sarita and everybody, that all of us that are on this hangout, of having a very not as unique as it has been, but a very powerful perspective of how I want to be with my kids, which is, really having that powerful abundance mindset, and, the possibilities of what's possible, and how I communicate with my kids with love and everything else. And it's not always that way with other moms. And when I was in a lot of the mom groups and everything else, I didn't like the way they communicated with their kids. I didn't like the way they communicated with themselves, or talked or gossiped, and all the negative stuff that was floating around. And so I didn't, it's been for me all about finding, and I have been slowly finding them, people locally that resonate with the way I think and resonate with the way I am with my kids. So, but otherwise it can still just be quite isolating. But more than anything, just being in a business, those of us, we're doing a home business, and anybody that may have done this, on their own, like for me, I did some other things prior to coming to this. I dabbled in different stuff, but there was no community like we have. And it felt like I was in business all by myself. And so we're going to be talking about a lot of different ways of how to feel internally self-supported, and also how to have that support in a community setting. So I'm going to see, Gabrielle, can you just see do we have sound? Let's see if we can go for it. No sound. Oh my God, we see your beautiful smiley face. You're with us here, but no sound. Okay, maybe what you can do is you can be commenting and dealing with the chat. Perhaps maybe you can stay with us here, but see what's going on, anything in the chat on there, and message maybe in our personal chat here, in the hangout, post some thoughts or whatever. We can vocalize them for you as well. We can do that. So let's just do that. I'm going to open up the chat, make sure it's open on my end so I can see. So yeah, show it in there. We'll just keep our eyes peeled and all that. And so Gabrielle will, even if we can't get the sound going, we'll get something going here. I'm going to pass it on over to Michelle.
Oh, yes. The thing that I really love about this business is our community. Our tribe is amazing. There's just so much talent and positive energy and encouragement. That is probably the number one thing that drew me into the business, just to realize, the potential that I had in myself, that our tribe and our family here, that we see in each other, and we, have that way of kind of drawing that out of each other and helping each other realize what we're capable of. And so, my coach, Bashan, has been very patient in working with me and encouraging me. And then when I got plugged into Mumpreneurs, each one of you and the stories that I've gotten to hear over the time just always seems to be what I needed to hear at that exact moment. So it's been such a blessing and just an amazement to me that that God and the universe just really knew what I needed to hear in that moment, and used that moment to help me and to kind of push me into the next step of a phase of my learning and growing and setting up my business. So that is, I've never really felt isolated since I've been in this business, because I did get in right away and plug into our tribe family, and all the training and the support and just the genuine love and friendship. The connections that we have here are just something like I've never seen before in any business or life setting. Most people are kind of in it for themselves, and our group is just completely, in it for the vision, that vision of freedom for everybody, and wanting to spread that message along. And I really believe that, each one of us, as we continue to grow, Elizabeth, as we continue to to kind of grow this vision and share that with the world, the impact that we can have in putting those those positive vibrations out there and influencing people, and just continue to grow that positive vision in the world, it can definitely change things just worldwide. And that's what I'm excited about, is just really seeing how everyone is able to use their unique gifts and share those with the world and make that positive impact in lives all over the world. So that it's definitely helpful to get plugged in with a group that encourages that same type of growth individually and as a unit. And I believe that I found that here. I know anyone that gets plugged into our group is definitely going to have success. I don't see that there's any way possible for anyone to fail unless they just have a hard time believing it and believing in themselves and just decide to quit. You got to stay with it. There's some bumps and bruises at the beginning, but kind of once you really have that belief that settles deep down within you, just there's no extinguishing that, and we've got the support here to really to build on that and to keep each other motivated to not quit, because it might seem easy to quit for me. I get discouraged, but there's something in my spirit that just says, no way, you can't quit this. It's too big and it's too important. And in the lives that I'm hoping to help, not just myself and to have a freedom lifestyle, but what I believe my purpose is here and how that is going to affect other people, I don't want to quit on them. And so that's why I'm so thankful to be a part of this group and have my friends all around the world. We all support each other and love each other, and I know that if I'm having a down day, I can reach out to any one of you, and everyone always has the best advice or can throw some love my way and lift me out of that funk. So I love you, ladies, and I'm just so grateful for our group, and I hope if anyone's watching and is just interested in getting started or wanting to know more what it's about, that you definitely have a group of people here that care and are here to guide you. We're not going to do it for you, but you definitely will have the love and support with this group of people and our Mumpreneurs to get you going in the right direction and keep you supported and feeling loved along the way.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. And I remember when you were watching us, we were getting all your comments on the page, and you were watching us.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of us, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Before I even got on the panel, I was kind of a bystander, and I'd have you ladies on while I'm working, and throughout the whole time, I believe that nothing is by accident, and it just, like I said before, every message, every story that I heard, it always hit a certain place in my life and in an area that I knew I needed to focus on. So having that awareness was huge, because when you have that awareness, then you know, like, okay, there's something here I need to focus on and work through. And so it really kind of just highlighted certain areas that needed some healing and needed some attention. And so, I would work on that, and then something else might come up the next week, and I was like, wow, that was really powerful. And it brought up something again in another area of my life that I thought, okay, this is something I need to focus on, whether it's overcoming fear or self-love. That was a big one that we did, realizing that I am enough, that I have the power, it's in me, and I'm fully capable of accomplishing what it is that I've set out to accomplish. And so each week that I come back, and whether I'm a part of the panel or I'm just watching and commenting, I'm always getting that, I don't know if you call it that spiritual food that I need in that moment to fill me up and propel me into that next phase of my growth, and to put that into place in my life and in my business has just been life-changing for me. My whole attitude has completely changed from what it was a year ago. A year ago, I was completely depressed, and I didn't realize it because I was still living in kind of the grief of losing my mom, but now I'm able to accept that she's not here, but from that experience, I want to make something beautiful and worthwhile from it by sharing her story and that message of hope and faith to people that are going through an experience with maybe a terminal illness like cancer, or just trying to find their place in life and realizing that, we always say it, but our life is a gift, and that there is a purpose for each life here on this earth. And I don't want to waste any more time in that grief setting. I'm stepping out of that, and I'm going to use what I've learned through that experience with my mom to help other people that might be going through the same thing. So it's kind of taking that beauty from ashes. It's making a positive out of something that was really negative in my life, But using that and knowing that that's what my mom would want me to do. That's the best way I can honor her and her memory is by sharing her story and sharing my story. And I believe that the people who need to hear it are going to be the ones that are going to be drawn to, to where I'm at, sharing that story. So this is just a great opportunity to really help people. And that's, I believe, what we're all here for, and from giving to others, I believe that's how we're blessed, in the ways that we desire and that we're searching for. So, but we got to put that out there first. We have to give before we receive. And so, I don't know. I just want to make something beautiful out of that experience. I don't want to look back on it and just think, oh, wow, that was the worst time of my life. I want to be able to look back and think, yeah, that was pretty bad, but look what I've been able to do and accomplish from that experience and from that hurt, and being able to help in kind of like a healing mission, to help other people come to terms and to heal from a devastation, something like that in their life.
That's so powerful, Michelle. That is so powerful, and everything that you went through. And I know that there'll be people that are watching that will be inspired by you and your perspective and all this. And as far as and everything else, when you get started in a business, there's new things to learn, and there will be new skills to learn. And with a lot of folks, at least with something new, it can be challenging to break out of your shell and learn new things. And that's what's so wonderful with who we are and what we have, is that we have a community. We like I said, we don't do it for you, but we have step by step and everything there for you. But to be able to have that community that can guide you to say, okay, here's this, watch this, you can do it. Because a lot of it is just not doing it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't actually take action. And if you don't take action, or if you get stuck at something, it's like, and then don't move past saying, okay, I'm stuck at this one thing, and not actually reach out to someone to say, okay, how do I get past this particular thing? I'm missing something. How do I get past it? Right?
Right.
To reach into that and go, oh yeah, oh well, it's right over there. Oh, it's right in front of me. Okay, because oftentimes it's what it is. It's just one simple thing. It's like you're like a tweak away, and you just missed one little point that was right in front of you, and I just need to hear from somebody else going, oh, it was right here. Go take a look. Oh yeah, that's right. Simple stuff.
Exactly.
And if you're dealing with something just powerful as what Michelle's dealing with, and a lot of us, we all have our own, that you're here supporting people with that. It's just so amazing. Elizabeth, you're here. We're going to quickly go and have Elizabeth introduce herself, and then I see Gabrielle has comments. We're going to go back over to Gabrielle. Gabrielle's sound isn't working, so we're working with Gabrielle via the chat. She can't seem to unmute. So, Elizabeth, you're up.
Okay, my name's Elizabeth Valerie, so I'm the mom of the Revitalized family. I live in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania in the USA, and I have 4 kids ranging in age from 23 down to 10 with disabilities from cerebral palsy, autism, heart condition, and asthma that we're running amok doing everything possible with, and that's why I'm working from home. So now we can go to Gabrielle.
Yay! Okay. Well, I'm going to put Gabrielle on the screen here. I'm going to read out for you. It says, Gabrielle, she says, I wanted to say that I needed to be slightly isolated over the last few weeks. How I needed to be with myself and how important it is to listen to yourself and do what is right for you. Being alone is also very healing. But knowing if I needed someone, I have this awesome community to come to whenever I need. I feel blessed to have that support and can be myself and still have the love of my mumpreneurs in the tribe. Yeah, so no, sometimes it is. I guess there's a difference between the definition of it. Isolated often has the connotation of a negative emotion, right? Feeling like somehow you're not connected or not, or abandoned. Whereas what you did, you made the choice to kind of go inside and find, and feel the power of and the beauty of your own life. basically. So, which is which is a completely different thing, and which, by the way, I'm going to get into a little bit on that, because there's that difference between isolation and in a way we are never ever really alone. We aren't. When we're connected to ourselves and the power and the beauty. But I'm going to, let's see here. Well, I'm going to delve into that in a little bit here. Because one of the biggest things for me that I learned, because there's the two sides to the business. We've talked about that in the business. By the way, click on the button below and you can connect with us. And that's the, or whoever brought you to this. There is the button below. You connect, and you will connect to whatever person brought you to this, and be connected directly to that person, but also, to our overall community, and have access to all of us. So in terms of the isolation as a mom, and for me, a lot of this was really learning how to do a lot of the stuff we've been talking about at the other hangouts, and delving into a self-awareness of really allowing myself to feel love and beauty and power and joy of who I really am. And you know me, I've talked a lot about this, about how, all the, a negative thought of isolation or loneliness or whatever, is a lot of that is connected to negative thoughts that have been out there about what does it mean if you're by yourself. And and we do need connection. We do need connection with other people, but a lot of it is there can be a needy aspect to it. And there's a difference between connecting for mutual, support and being there to give, where you're there to give to someone else and they give to you, and there's that loving community, versus feeling like you need to have other people in order to be happy. And one of the things that was most powerful for me is getting into a feeling of self-love, feeling just tapping into that inner joy that is there when you allow it. And ways of getting into that is meditation, and I listen to inspiring audios that remind me of that space of getting into that very powerful space. Because when you allow yourself to get still enough and let go of the negative thoughts, not allowing myself to buy into negative thoughts about myself, and allowing myself to think, my goodness, there is this whole philosophy out there that we are connected as this one big whole, and connected, to the essence of the universe, of God, whatever you want to call it. But it's an energy. It's like a love essence of the world, literally love essence of everything. And when I've allowed myself to not listen to those negative thoughts and allow myself to feel into that, it's like this incredible bubble of joy rises up from within, and I don't feel alone. But I do love being able to connect with like-minded people like we have in our community, and our sisters here and everything, and the Mumpreneurs, and we do another hangout. We do it on Thursdays at the same time, Sisters United, and really connecting with our whole community and our tribe, and but a lot of it is really having to find it from within, because I think, Michelle, you talked about it, being able to give. It's really hard to give if the first place that we need to give really is to give to ourselves, and when we can allow ourselves that, and to give to our children, and give to feeling with that heart sense. For me, a lot of it was just allowing it from within, and then I've got it to give without. And there are times where I will be in a place where I've gotten down, but I'm about to call and talk to somebody that I'm there to assist, and by reaching in and reminding them of their own beauty and power, I'm uplifted as well. So there's kind of two sides to it, but it's because I am reminding myself as I'm reminding them. It's a conscious awareness of that, which is very different than giving to people and expecting to receive in return. Because it's that giving from the heart with no expectation, just from the pure joy of giving. And for me, it's that self-reminder, and I've done that in exercises in other places. I'm happy to do that here. It's like this wild exercise where you're speaking life into someone else, but at the same time reminding yourself that you're speaking it into yourself. So it's that kind of self-awareness of who we are, who we really are, that we are connected to this energy. The very first time I ever experienced it was when I was 14 years old. I talked about it, I think, on another hangout, but I was sitting there. My mom was going into the bank, and I was sitting in the car, and this was up in Canada, and it was winter, and it was cold. And I hated the cold. I've never really liked the cold. But it was a beautiful sunny day, and even though there was snow everywhere, the sun was sparkling on the snow. And I was sitting there in the car, and I think I had the radio, and I was listening to Stevie Wonder of all things, and I actually saw beauty in the sun sparkling on the snow, which for me was a rare thing, to be able to see beauty in the snow, because I was like this teenager that just hated the cold and hated the snow and wanted out. And I was sitting there, and I allowed it, and something just snapped. Something happened as I was looking into that sparkling, beautiful snow, sitting warm and toasty in the car. And all of a sudden, it was like this awareness came up for me. I started thinking about, for whatever reason, that the snow and it was made of molecules, and the sun and everything, all the elements of the world is all made of molecules, which are made of atoms with energy, and we're all of matter. Everything is all made of this energy, and that we are all connected by that energy because we are all made of it. It's all like there is, energy is, what is it they say, it's never destroyed, it's always just changes form. And this weird awareness just all of a sudden lifted up of this absolute connection to everyone and everything. And the moment that I went there, all of a sudden this massive bubble of joy just rose up from within me. And I couldn't explain it, but I just felt such joy and such gratitude just for the connection, just feeling it, and it's there. And I've since met and communicate with so many other people that have had that experience in some way, some form, somewhere, of feeling that connection, and it's always there for us, and it's very, very powerful. And like I said, you can get there via meditation, you can get there from a lot of different ways. But when I went there, it's and I'll be honest, I forgot about it for long periods of time. But there, if you have a daily practice of doing something that gets you there, there's never a feeling of aloneness. There's always a feeling of an overbubbling in joy, and I could be anywhere, and I could see that in anyone. But it does help to have a community to connect, to be able to give and receive. So coming from that fullness to share. So anyways, that's what I have here. I'm going to pass it on over to Elizabeth.
I guess there's so many different things that we can talk about in regards to isolation, being at home or in the business place, or all of that. The big one that came to the forefront, I guess, among all of us here, actually came to the forefront when we were in Nashville. I had been going through a really, really rough time of it. I have 4 handicapped kids. It's a little bit overwhelming, and you always want to do for other people. You don't want to have done for you. It's a very, very difficult thing to turn around and ask anybody for help. And I think all of us can identify with that. It's just one of these soul gut-wrenching things that you want to give the help, you don't want to accept it. And when you're going through something extremely difficult and extremely tough, it is not easy to accept that help, let alone to own up that you're having the problems. Everybody else on the outside sees you as this happy person, or someone that's so busy they can't possibly have time to be depressed, or you're so active you can't possibly be overwhelmed, and they don't always get to see what's behind our eyes. It's a very difficult thing to process. Now, unlike most people, my eyes are a barometer. I have hazel eyes, and they change color with my mood and all that wonderful stuff. If they're brown, if they're shit brown, we turn around and I'm full of it because I'm not reacting to anything. I'm so mired down. And I was very, as Val knows, I was suicidal back then. And, I was very isolated with my kids. I was watching this hangout. I was participating in this hangout. And I was surprised when I got welcomed into the Hangout. I didn't know why I got welcomed into it because I had not been watching very long. And it's just every single time that there is an episode or an installment or whatever, and everybody is talking, somebody hits on something in their own experiences that I could identify with. You know, just hearing somebody else turn around and say something that you've been going through gets rid of a huge portion of that isolation because you don't feel like you're the only one going through it anymore. You're not the only person that has these things that has to be done. You're not the only person that has all these events that are being pulled out from underneath you. It's a scary world out there for everybody at any given time. But the problem is we don't always take the time to see what other positives are going on in our lives at the same time. Meanwhile, this group was a major positive for me. You know, I would turn around and I would talk to these women on the Hangout, and sometimes I would talk to them off to the side of the Hangout, and we discuss our everyday issues. I mean, every one of us goes through many of the same things. And it's not just, oh, we're up here and we're on this bubble on the TV or on the computer, and, you know, we must know everything because we're up here. We're not. We're exactly the same as everybody else. We have our children. We have our families. We have our friends. And if we're not going through it, we know somebody else who is going through it. And everybody wants to help everybody else. But we always take it into ourselves as it's our own sole responsibility, and we make ourselves feel isolated. We don't do it on purpose, but it happens because, you know, you want to fix your problems yourself. You want to know that there's a way out of it, but you go out and look for the help because you think you should be able to do it on your own. And unfortunately, not all of us are made to do it on our own. You know, you walk through the supermarket and you hear someone talking about what they're going through with their teenage son, and it's something that your best friend is going through. Guess what? You just got the information from somebody else. You're not that alone. They're not that alone. We don't realize that as we go through life step by step, we're actually becoming witnesses to everybody else's isolation, everybody else's problems. And we're actually there to help each other out. And this group here was a major, major help for me because I was at a point where my relationship had failed miserably. It had pulled everything out from underneath me. My self-esteem was in the toilet. You know, yeah, I could get my kids through their ABCs into school and get them their grades and everything, but what had I done in that relationship that had made it go so wrong? Well, you know what? It had nothing to do with me. It had absolutely nothing to do with me. I had busted my butt working on everything, trying to find the problems in the relationship, trying to talk them out, trying to work them out. He just wasn't interested. So because he wasn't interested, somehow or other, I brought it in and blamed myself for it. And thereby, I isolated myself because I needed to find a way to fix that. Well, you know what? These ladies gave me something else to focus on. These ladies turned around and showed me that I wasn't the only one that had gone through similar circumstance. These ladies were the ones that turned around and made me laugh and made me smile, and they, believe it or not, they taught me the law of attraction. And you know, and I tout it all the time. It's the craziest, silliest sounding thing, but you know what? It works. And for about 2 months prior to going to Nashville and meeting these women in person, I had been doing this whole little mantra about I wasn't dealing with what went wrong with my relationship anymore. I was dealing with what I deserved in a relationship. This is who I am. I'm an honest person. I am a giving person. This is what I deserve. And you know what? I couldn't have come to that realization without the ladies that are here on this hangout. And it sounds silly, but we isolate ourselves. And we don't realize that we isolate ourselves until we find and see someone else going through the same situation. So a major bountiful thing for this hangout, yes, we all have businesses and we're all working together, but the biggest thing about this is that we're helping each other not to be isolated. We're helping other people realize that they're not isolated. Mm-hmm. And we're helping everyone come to conclusions and figure out what the next step in their journey is as they're going, because they may not be able to see it themselves. Mm-hmm. So the biggest thing that we need to realize is that we are the people that isolate ourselves. We need to understand that, take a step back, and say, okay, well, what should I do next? Who do I know in a similar circumstance? Maybe I can bounce some ideas off of them, vice versa, and be less isolated. These ladies, aside from making sure that I didn't do something stupid, they got to watch as my little law of attraction thing came to fruition in Nashville. I had met someone a week before that, and we spent all night talking every single night, and he's now been my boyfriend for 2 months, and we are getting along great. We are totally honest. We tell each other every little aspect of what's going on, and because we are doing that, we are not isolated either. So, I owe all of that to the women here because they let me see that I was the one doing it to myself. And I think that this is such a powerful outlet because we can help each other and make each other realize that not everything that we're going through is so terrible. There's always a way out of it. There's a way to look at it in a brighter light, and there's a way to pull positives out of it. And that's what's important. That's why we're here, to make a difference. So, I'll go back to you, Val.
Oh my God, Elizabeth, that is, oh wow, that is so powerful. And I'm like, I am so grateful that you're here and you're here with us. And yeah, and it just, that's so powerful. Michelle, do you have anything you want to pop on into what Elizabeth just said?
Wow. I don't even know what else to say. Everything you said, Elizabeth, I'm just sitting here trying to hold back emotional tears because I don't want to cry on the computer. But it's true. I mean, and to see the person that you are today and the power that that you radiate compared to like when I got to first meet you in Nashville, and the difference that you're making in your life and in your family, your children, and in your relationship with Charlie. It makes my heart smile.
I guess for frame of reference, Michelle was sitting next to me at the table. Val was across from me at the table, and Michelle was my partner during an exercise when you were supposed to be able to tell the person's story. Mm-hmm. And they had just switched to telling your own story, so I thought she was getting up to tell hers, and she got up to tell mine, and I fell apart. Totally, utterly fell apart. I was crying. I was just, it was, you never see exactly what's going on in your life until you see it through somebody else's eyes. And the things that she said and how she said them, she made me laugh a little bit about what was going on in my life. I cried a lot because you don't realize how strong of a person you are until somebody else tells you, And Michelle made a huge difference in my life that weekend, and we still talk, and Valerie has made a huge difference, and Gabrielle made a huge difference, and it's just amazing the relationships that we have built through this. And, Michelle was just, I get upset and I bug Michelle in the middle of the night. So, and we met here, we met talking through the Hangout, and then I met her in person in Nashville, and one of the most wonderful relationships I could have ever hoped to have. So thank you all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love you. I love you. I am so happy to see where you're at, and you just needed that reminder. You have so much power in you, and to be the mom that you are to your children, I'm so inspired by you, honestly. And you have so much value and so much to give the world, and to hear where you were coming from broke my heart, but I knew that you had to have some sort of powerhouse within you to live the life that you have, you're living with your children and providing for them, and you're so smart. The life wisdom that you have to share is so valuable, and I admire you so much, but it broke my heart to see where you were at that moment. I felt like you just wanted to hunch down in the corner, but I'm like, I just wanted you to remember the person that you are, and what makes you so special and so amazing, and why God chose you to be the mother for your children that all have these uniquely special needs, because you are fully capable. You have everything that you need to be the mom that they need. And that was just so special to me. But yeah, I had no idea just doing that exercise would have had that impact. But I am so glad it did, and I'm so thankful that you're here, because you're an amazing friend and amazing person. And I know that my life is more blessed to have you and Gabrielle and Val and all of our other mompreneurs and ladies from our tribe. Everybody is just, I don't know, I think when we really focus on those areas within ourselves that we're trying to overcome, or the bad stuff, that we were trying to change to be a better person for our children and for, people in our lives, and really putting that focus on the positives and all of us working together in a positive direction, it changes lives. It really does. I've experienced so much healing from my experiences being connected to each one of you and the stories that everyone has shared here. And it's super powerful. Val would always say that's so very powerful, and I'm sitting here going, it is powerful. I mean, that when you can identify with somebody and see how they've worked out of that pain, it really gives so much encouragement and inspiration to help move out of, my own pain. And that's exactly what I did with it. But Elizabeth, you're glowing. I love seeing how you have manifested these positives in your life from natural, and that was just a few short months ago, and handed me that piece of paper that you're saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm focused on and working towards. And the one that jumped out at me right away was the one that really had to do with having that having someone to love you for who you are, love you and your children, to wake up to that person with their arms around you. And I'm like, wow, that one jumped out of me off the page, and I'm like, this is the one that I know you're going to have this before a year is up for sure. And sure enough, and it was already in the works at that very moment, and here we are today. So, that's just a true testament to, like we always say, what is possible, and you put that energy and that positive action in motion, and it's just a matter of time before those things actually manifest themselves. So I'm proud of you, Mama. Definitely.
Thank you.
But yeah, I don't know how to say anything more than what Elizabeth shared with us and about isolation. I mean, Gabrielle, I understand exactly. You're kind of taking your own little break and kind of looking within. Sometimes you kind of have to step back maybe and kind of assess where you are, evaluate, where you are and where you want to go. And I've kind of done that too, kind of stepping back. I was in a lot of the training, going through a lot of the setup, a lot of the technical stuff with my business, and just feeling kind of spread out, kind of thin. So I had to take a little step back and realize that everything is going to come at the right time. And as long as I'm doing something positive every day in that direction, I'll get there. But it's going to be in the time that I'm supposed to get there, not in, the time frame that maybe Val did or Gabrielle, but just without being lazy and taking too much time back, but just to have that reflection. Let's see where I'm at now and what steps I need to take to get to the next phase. And so I completely can relate to that. Let's see. Oh yes, absolutely. And like Gabrielle is mentioning here, it's a bonus that our business is automated, so it's always working for us. When we have the system set up, it is always working for us. So when we do want to take that time, or take our children to Disney on a whim, like Val, taking her boys, I mean, it's so wonderful having that possible to do and still have your business working for you. So when you do need to take that time for yourself or for your family, or to do something special, or to just kind of take a little break and do some meditation and self-reflection, that we do have that ability, to keep things still keep moving. So anyway, I don't know. I'm happy to see all the progression that we've all made, and in knowing where we all have been before, it's a huge blessing to me just to see that, and it definitely encourages me, and hopefully it encourages everyone else too, to see, you know, that what is possible when you have the right focus and you put that positive energy into that to make it happen. So.
Yeah. I'm going to put, and thank you, and I'm putting Gabrielle on the screen because I'm going to reading your comments here. Gabrielle's been like chatting on the side here. She was, with Elizabeth, she was saying, you know, that was very, you know, that it was so powerful, Elizabeth, what you said, and that was very, very special. And she remembered, and I remember her sitting there, you know, when Michelle did that. It was so amazing. You were all, you know, all sitting there together. And Elizabeth saying, you guys have given me so much. There's a little love fist on the side in the chat here. This is what happens in the background. You know, this is what we're doing. We're all like woohoo! So was it the next thing? Oh yeah. So Gabrielle writes here. She says we are all on our own path, and we'll be there when we should be. And it is part of the journey. And this is how we learn and grow. And you're awesome, Michelle, and have so much to give. I'm speaking to Gabrielle right now, so I have you up there so you can smile. Thumbs up, yeah. We find a way. We find a way to get together, you know. So, yeah, we're getting close to the top of the hour. I just want to say with Elizabeth, I mean, oh my goodness, you know, it's funny because my experience here in Nashville, a lot of us are gonna be together again, and be together again
in Las Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah, and you know. I had this powerful thing happen to me when I was in Nashville at the very end. I don't know if you guys remember, those of you that might have been watching this for a while, but I had an accident. And it was funny because I was running. We were all getting together to do this big picture on the staircase. And I wanted so much to be in that picture for me. I wanted to be in the picture because for me, it was going to be like this physical representation of the connection with the tribe and everything else, and I wanted to be in the picture. And this place we were staying at was the Gaylord Opryland, which has its own zip code. Literally, I actually asked. The place actually has its own freaking zip code. And I was at one end of the zip code having to get to the other end of the zip code with a stroller with the kids, right? So, and I'm like pushing this stroller and I'm going really, really fast. Probably not what the smartest thing in the world. We got to this one point and I slipped and the stroller tipped over. Thankfully, Jordan wasn't hurt. None of the kids were hurt. But the stroller landed on top of me, and I'd had like a bag with some stuff on it, and I hurt my wrist. I hurt my wrist in a big way, and you know, so much so the staff came running to see, you know, to like saying, you know, we want the paramedics to look at you. But I said, no, I'm headed where I wanted to go because I knew that I was going to miss the connection. There was also stuff that was going to go on, and I was determined. I said, you know what? You can take care of me later. Because I was like, you know what? I'm not gushing blood. It's okay. I hurt. Little did I know, it was like I ended up being in a brace for a while afterwards. But I pushed this stroller and I'm moving, and I was like, somehow I'm going to get there. And I was going across this really long walkway, and sure enough, who's the person that I see? I bump into the first person I see is Elizabeth, and it was like, for me, it was knowing that. Okay, now I'm good now. All is good. Because I bumped into the mama that could handle so much physical craziness in her life. I knew if there was anybody that I could bump into, I knew I was doing something right. That the first person I come across, I knew could handle my situation, and it was amazing. We got to the picture.
You were so funny. You're like, oh my God, thank goodness it's you. Thank goodness it's you. And I'm like, okay, Elizabeth, come here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because I was just like, I don't even know. I mean, I shouldn't have been able to lift it. I mean, I shouldn't have been able to do anything that I did. I mean, I got whatever I could. And I got to Elizabeth, and then I was good. You know, it was basically from there. It was all good. I was able to do the rest of what I needed to do that day. Eventually, got myself to you know, whatever, to the medical attention that I needed, but it was, you know, for those of you that are watching us, you know, and maybe watching on the outside. Like I said, Michelle started on the outside and everything else, and you know, you're never really alone. Whatever you're doing, whatever connect. You want to connect with us, we have our community in terms of a business, and you know, and find people that are like-minded in what you do. Just find people that are like-minded in what you do, in where you're at. In your physical environment, there might be meetups. that maybe you can find people. But if not, if you're somewhere that's just isolated and you can't find people that are like-minded, this is what is so wonderful, and this is why I do what we do in the internet. Because we can, you know, even if somebody might be physically isolated, you're never isolated. You can connect. There's us. You can connect with us. You can and being able in this very powerful way to really be able to give and know that you're never really alone. You're never really alone inherently, and you're just, you know, there's just, for me, it's so powerful to have this community and to have all of you, you know, at a certain point in time, at one point in time or another, I've reached out to each one of you, and because, you know, yeah, stuff happens. I mean, you know, even there stuff happens in our lives, and I know that I can reach out and have a voice and have someone there to communicate with. And so get connected to a community, but know that you're also, you know, get connected with us, and also know that you can have that self-connection as well. You're connecting with, there's this whole literally essence of the energy of the universe that's there, and that we are all never really alone, ever, 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 ever. And that's what I have left to say. So anybody else, last words? Otherwise, we're going to sign out for till next week. We'll have a great topic next week. Anyone else? I'm going across all the smiley faces here. Does anybody see, is there any comments in the chat? Because I'm going to go take a look in the page and see if we have anybody that's been commenting in the chat that wanted to speak out.
Oh, we did have I see Lucy. Says, Elizabeth, you are so right. This group of inspiring women keep me going too, even if I don't speak to or hear from you all, because I too often tend to isolate myself and recharge. Just knowing you're all there makes me smile as I lay down to sleep. I love this team and cannot wait to meet you all in person.
Oh, yeah, Lucy's way, I mean, she's in Europe, so it's really late for you. Oh my goodness, what is it, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, it's like what, 4 or 5 in the morning for you. It's really late. So, and I'm so excited to see you soon, Lucy. We're going to see Lucy soon. She's going to be connecting with us in Vegas. But so, thank you, everyone, and stay tuned, you know, with us next week. Connect with you know, the person that brought you here. We also do another Hangout, Sisters United, on Thursdays at the exact same time, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Perth, Australia time. Where we connect with other wonderful like-minded women. Some of us are altogether moms, some are not moms. So you have another place of connection. And if you haven't already and you want to, you know, connect and do it, you know, with us and doing the business that we do, that's down below. Love you all, and see you all next week.
Bye.